Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here. We're back with our weekly recap of all things Injustice. Getting into it, the Crit Character Challenge. Oh, I guess this is for the week of March 14th, 2024.
Right.
The Crit Character Challenge is Suicide Squad Joker. That's a 1 week repeat. The required characters for that are none at the standard difficulty. You only get 9 fights at each ladder.
Not only get, you only need to.
You only
9.
need to. Yeah, that's true. Instead of the normal 12 you get to start. Like all other Suicide Squad challenges. And then on Expert and Nightmare, it sort of goes back to normal. You get that 12, 12, 12, 12, and 15 fights. And then you do have character requirements. You also get better prizes. You get a silver pack, a gear locker, and a gold pack instead of a bronze pack of credits and then a silver pack. And at higher difficulties, although it doesn't really matter, the required characters are Wonder Woman, Batgirl, and Batman, who you can get at a silver, challenge gold, and gold respectively. His passive is Manic, which is the Joker can't wait to show you his toys. A powerful random effect will occur on his special one, and he receives 10% less damage and deals 10% more damage for each additional Suicide Squad member on your team. He's got 1,350 attack, and he's got the exact same 1,350 health as his base stats.
Right. Last available May 18th last year. So he's got good high stats. I mean, 13, 15, 13, 50. That's really good. You look at his passive, though. Random effect on special one. That is not even... It's not even really a passive. I mean, his damage is reduced, right? So it's less than what it should be as a special one for how much attack he's got to give you that random effect. So it's almost like the first part isn't even a passive because other Jokers have poison on their special one. I don't feel like it's worth it to have it be a random effect that you can't even count on. That's not really an advantage. The second part is really good, though. On a team with Suicide Squad teammates, you are effectively increasing his already high attack stat and his high health stat by 20% each to basically 1620. That's really good. So where he really shines is as a teammate with Suicide Squad Harley Quinn. They are, I think, inextricably linked if you're going to make the most with either one of them. And so it feels like it's Suicide Squad Joker's coming up often because we're basically doing the same thing when Suicide Squad Harley Quinn comes out. So if you want to get into a bit of a semantic argument about which one of them is really the star on the team, you can see that they both are based on, at the end of the fight, based on the damage that is attributed to them. Sometimes Joker gets credit for way more damage, and sometimes it's Harley Quinn. And the way it's defined tends to be if Joker coming in and doing his attack when he's not actually the active fighter. If it knocks the opponent out, Joker gets credit. If he doesn't knock the opponent out, then Harley Quinn gets credit. For the damage, at least.
But the team falls apart if you're missing either of them.
Right,
so it doesn't really matter.
Right. So we've done quite a few videos on a Suicide Squad team. The playlist is linked in the description. And what you're watching is a current run from today with Suicide Squad Joker. So the interesting thing for people who, we've gone over this a bunch of times, but I think it's worth rehashing. The damage on Suicide Squad Harley Quinn's Joker, Suicide Squad Harley Quinn's Special 2 with Joker is based on, all right, so number 1, it's Joker's damage stat. 2, boosted by his passive. So if there's 2 other Suicide Squad teammates, there's automatically 1, right? But if there's 2 of them, then that's plus 10% for each one. And it's also enhanced by any of gears on Joker that has an effect on his special 2.
Yeah, and so what's great about that is you can see from this, all of those are Joker-centric stuff. Right. So you can gear him fully out only to be good at special 2, basically.
Right.
And that leaves Harley free to be geared out however you want. So you essentially get to double up, right? Special 2 gets to benefit from all 3 of Harley's gears for like power generation or like flexibility. And they get to get benefit from all 3 of Joker's gears for special 2 damage maximization. So you're getting way, way, way better sort of synergy than you would normally get for anybody else for their special 2.
And listen, the damage has to be based on something. It's still funny to me. I've said it before. It hasn't stopped being funny. So the special 2 damage of Harley Quinn, it's his special 1 animation, the gunshot. It uses up Harley Quinn's power. It's her special 2. But it's basically the amount of damage is approximating his damage stat or his base special 2 damage, which are both around when he's Elite 5, 50k, but is affected by his special 2 modifiers, right? So none of this is intuitively obvious. You can figure it out by doing a little bit of experimentation. I just think it's kind of a neat kind of a puzzle. And so he's doing a ton of damage while spending very little or no time count against him, right? So at the clock at the end of the fight, and a lot of them, if we don't tag him in, it's 0 seconds for 500,000 damage. And what's beautiful, actually, what makes this even more effective is that it doesn't matter if the opponent is blocking. You are seeing the full unblocked damage every single time.
Yeah, it's essentially an unblockable special too.
Right. So his gear in the current setup is Kryptonian Rifle, which is, there's 3 abilities. The one that matters is the 30% crit chance on special 2. The other ability is for special 1. The third ability is for Zod, which we don't care about, but we're really just doing it to increase crit chance.
Yeah.
Demon Blade, which is 15% damage boost to special 2 and also 30% crit chance on special 2. And despite being a 2.5-star gear, it's still the only gear that will boost crit chance and damage of special 2. And we'll start off the fight with Fourth World Godly Mace as his third gear. So there's a 100% area effect. Opponent's team takes 15% damage from special 2, so that's splash damage, which is nice.
Yep.
25% damage boost to special 2, also good. And a 30% power drain chance on special 2. And we're going to start with that. And if there's more time than that we need to cover, then we've got footage of that particular ultimate ladder. Then the alternative could be LexCorp Helmet to boost crit damage by 50%. It's basically about the same damage, but it doesn't have any splash damage or power drain. What's neat about Fourth World Godly Maces has got so many synergistic special 2 effects.
Yeah, and a damage boost to special 2 is technically better than a crit damage boost, just because sometimes something will happen, like your crit will get turned off by like Red Sun Green Lantern, for example.
Right.
So damage boost to special 2 is consistent. They can't take that away from you as easily.
Yeah, I wonder if we still get the crit damage, like despite the Red Sun Green Lantern. I gotta take a look at some of that footage.
Oh, you're true. Because it might be interact weirdly, just because it's technically not,
Yeah, it's not the fight in front of him. Yeah. So Joker's augmented for crit damage and crit chance, which is why he crits every single time with 2 gears that just give him 60% total combined crit chance on special 2. And the hardest thing for me playing this team is timing Harley Quinn's special right. Her special 2 has one more option than all the other Harleys. It seems like it's harder to get the one that you want every time. Basically, what I do is I'm timing it so that when I see the flower is when I touch it, because the Joker is the one right after the flower, which is the healing.
It'll depend a little bit on your own personal reaction time and like device latency, but that's our strategy.
Yeah. The good thing is that there's only one of the 4 options, the C4, that costs you power. But the delay, if you miss your pick, is enough to leave you vulnerable to an attack, which is why on Harley Quinn, the 3rd gear slot is Enchantress, companion gear. That was the last tweak we've made with this current team. And that's basically unchanged since our Suicide Squad video from February of last year. What it does is it disables the opponent's specials immediately after. I mean, it doesn't say it does. And it's not that it actually has any of those visual effects where there's like an X across the power bars.
Yeah, but functionally, the AI will never hit you with a special in that period of time where the skulls, or not the skulls.
Yeah, the skulls.
Yeah, the skulls are flying.
So it protects Harley Quinn in the immediate aftermath of her special from the opponent's specials, whether you knock out your opponent or not. And this is great when opponents revive or Rebirth Raven tags in and steals Harley Quinn's power. It buys you a little bit of time. And previously we tried Astro Harness, but it just wasn't nearly as good. That ability to do more with her special to offer a bit of protection and do the extra damage, where that she's get extra skulls because she's Suicide Squad. Absolutely stellar. So, like you said earlier, this team requires Joker and Harley Quinn. If either of them are gone, you've lost all the synergy and the team kind of stinks.
Yeah.
And so that's an slightly extra challenging bit about playing this team. So, yeah, Resurrection is still a problem, even with Enchantress gear, because anytime your Joker doesn't knock out the opponent, You just need to work a little harder. But the Enchantress companion gear definitely makes the fights much better and much easier. So Harley Quinn's got Tantitona, Master's Death Cart, and Enchantress. Deadshot's got Claw of Horus, Astro Harness, and Razagul Scimitar.
Based off of the challenge pattern, we expect next week to be Ame Kami Catwoman. Moving to the multiplayer award, we have Blackest Night Superman, whose passive is Necron's Champion, for the dead will rise, and then another colon. Superman's special attacks do necrotic damage to the opponent, causing wounds that can't heal. Blackest Night characters are immune to unblockables and gain health for every KO'd opponent. He's got 1,375 attack and 1,425 health. He was last available on the 10th of August, 2023. We expect Cloak of Destiny for next week.
Right. Okay.
So he's got, good high stats.
Sure.
The first part of his passive, it sounds good, but it's not actually that good in practice. The problem is that the amount of necrotic damage is small. So most of the time, it's not going to matter. You're going to knock people out anyways.
Yeah.
In the cases where people are healing, it's still going to be really annoying and slow to fight them if you're letting them heal consistently. So there's no real sort of scenario where it makes a huge difference.
It just takes too long to build up that necrotic damage.
You'd have to really be struggling in a fight for it to make a difference. Right. It should really be a much higher percentage of the damage you're dealing. Yeah. For how rarely that heal sort of happens in a fight anyways, it should be like almost all of the damage you're dealing, like 75% or something.
Yeah. Yeah. The second part of his passive is pretty good, though. Immunity to unblockables. He's a great counter against Ares, who is the god of unblockables, who's special to Godsmack. It's not only unblockable by itself, but will also cause you to normally be unable to block after Ares does his Godsmack. And it's also great against most tag and stuns like Luchador Bane and Cloak of Destiny and LexCorp Gauntlets. And it helps against unblockable specials that, like Arkham Knight Batgirl gets, Arkham Harley Quinn on her special 2 with the Dynamite, Killer Frost in the tail end of her special 2. Lots of applications. So there's one specific exception where it doesn't work like that, because on the Earth 2 tag and stun, so you'll still get stunned. It's the only stun, and the reason why it's probably different is it's the only stun that doesn't require damage. Like everything else, the stun does a nominal, like small, tiny 1 point of damage. So potentially that could actually even normally knock you out. And it will not work if you've got the invulnerability of, say, Astro Harness. Earth 2 stun will bypass all that because it doesn't actually do any damage. And I think that's why it will still work against Blackest Night Superman's passive.
Yeah. Moving on to the store, we have the Ame Kame Catwoman Early Access Pack. This is sort of our second piece of evidence, a corroborating clue to what next week's challenge is going to be, in addition to the cycle that we track. It doesn't come with credits, so it's priced accordingly. It's $12.99 Canadian.
The only currency that matters.
There we go. Yeah. Doesn't unlock a copy in your store, so we always recommend that as long as you're confident you'll be able to play and you're going to have the requirements, that you wait and just play the challenge instead of buying it. But, not the worst deal.
Right.
We also have the Sorcery Pack for its second week. That's Zatanna, Raven, and Kandak Black Adam for $24.99. In addition, we have the new pack, or it's not new, but, cycling back in just now, is the Ultimate Bundle Bringers of Justice Pack. It's $124.99. And it, quote, contains 10 of the best heroes. I wouldn't say best in my own personal opinion, but that's
why it's in quotes.
Yeah. New 52 Superman, Dawn of Justice Batman, Dawn of Justice Wonder Woman, Injustice 2 Aquaman, Earth 2 The Flash, Yellow Lantern Hal Jordan, Martian Manhunter, Rebirth Green Arrow, Earth 2 Hawkgirl, and Arkham Knight Batman. And all of those are challenges except for Batman. 10 characters is a lot of characters. It would be fun to play around with them if you didn't have a lot of golds. But $124.99 is just so expensive. Like, it's genuinely the price of more than, like, a new game and all the DLC for it. Like, brand new day it's released. So it's really hard to justify spending that much money.
What's wild to me is that when it was first released, it was $66 Canadian.
Yeah.
So, almost as cheap as half price. And I almost want to kick myself for even thinking about saying it, but that almost makes it a good deal in the aggregate, but that's still, like you're saying, it's still a lot to spend all at once.
Yeah, $65. The amount of money I spend on just games, buying only brand new games, or not brand new games, but only buying like games that I want to play is like so much less than that on a regular basis.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of packs that have been around for forever. And then Phantom Zone is back for 2 weeks. Fight 62 is still broken. We've got a double XP for probably March break. It's normally for some
but
sort
it's the
of
weekend
special
for, so is this weekend anything special? Oh, maybe it's for St. Patty's Day.
Maybe. Is that this weekend?
Yes. Well, is it the 17th? What's 17th? Is it Sunday? St. Patty's Day.
Okay, cool.
Maybe.
Day. Yeah, St. Patrick's Day. Cool.
Yeah.
Last weekend's breakthrough for golds was Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, and Lobo. This coming weekend's should be Lex Luthor, Batman, and Doomsday. We track our own schedule, but if you want to check it out for yourself, there's a link in the description to a thread from Devlin16 on the Injustice Mobile subreddit that goes through the complete breakthrough cycle.
Yeah. Right. So as far as current glitches go, we go into more detail every time something significant changes, which did not happen this week. But even if nothing changes, we still do a more detailed review once a month, the first week of every month. Most recently, that was a recap from last week, March the 7th.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't want to wait for each week anyways or whatever update, you can see a video tutorial for every working glitch in our playlist that we will keep up to date if anything changes. It's called The Current Working Glitches. It's linked in the description of this video and in the eye in the top right corner. Main thing worth mentioning is that the challenge reset glitch has been confirmed to be working on this week's Suicide Squad Joker challenge.
So there we go. To finish up, we'd like to give a huge thank you to our lovely patrons on Patreon. That's Michael Devries, Irvin, Ruiz, Hoshi127, and Nora Klimek, supporting us on the credited level, as well as the names scrolling past right now who supported us at some point during the pandemic. Thank you so much for your support, and we'll see you next time.
Komoda.